It is done. And only one person today, so
Okay, no problem. Maybe a few more will sneak in.
hopefully, yeah, more people will join. Okay, you can start or you can wait if you want a few minutes.
Well, yeah, we'll give it one more minute. I'll talk anyway, and then we'll get going after that.
Mhm.
Yeah, so hello, Gordon. You're the only one currently in class, so we're just gonna kind of hang out for a moment and see how things go. But if you're gathering equipment for today, here comes some more anyway. Perfect. Um, we are going to be using two hand weights today, two small weights. So if you have two of those handy, you can keep them somewhere out of the way for now. We'll do warm up without them as usual. And then we'll pick them up during our resistance training portion. Yeah, I see there's a few more people joining. So maybe what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a little sip of water. I'm going to let everybody settle in, and then we'll do that intro and get going. Okay, well, so hello, you all know me anyway, but it's Julie from Ocean Rehab and Fitness. Thanks for joining me today. So as I was saying, the only piece of equipment officially we'll need today is two hand weights if you have them available. As usual, if you decide maybe that you're working through an injury and you'd rather not use the weights today, or you have something else that you can improvise instead of weights like soup cans or water bottles or anything like that. Those are all options for you. I may have time, I'm not sure yet, to do a little bit of work that involves a pillow or a rolled up towel or even a rolled up sweater or something that you have handy. So if you happen to have that kind of within reaching distance, maybe just keep that handy. And if you don't worry too much about it. As I said, kind of based on my plan, I'm not sure if we'll get to using this today or not, but I'd kind of like to leave it as an option for myself. So if you do have that, that's great. Okay. So, and of course, as usual, water bottle. Anytime you need a drink of water, go ahead and take it. And I usually give quite a few cues for water as well. So today my plan is to do a pyramid style class, which means that, let me just mute that, which means that we're going to be doing 3, 6, 9, 6, 3 of a number of different exercises. But first we have to warm up. So don't worry about any of that yet. Back on your chair for full back support. Shoulders are back and down for now. We're in a comfortably tall position, right? So we're thinking about posture already. Maybe you're going to take your eyes to close for a moment, and let's do the 3 different focal points for our breathing exercise to start class today. So we're going to start by every breath in, bringing our spine just a little bit longer, stretching out towards the ceiling, and every breath out, holding most of that length for a full exhale. So big inhale to stretch your spine, head towards the ceiling, and an equally big exhale. So maybe it's the crown of your head that you're thinking of pulling up towards the ceiling, just to give you a little bit more length through the back of your neck. And release. We'll do a couple more like that. Let's do 2 more. And then next, we're going to focus on the rise and fall of your chest. If you like that bit of reference point, you can have hand at chest if you like. So breath in, expanding through your rib cage, breath out, full exhale. So big breath in. We already have lots of space for our inhale, exhale because we've stretched ourselves up nice and tall in our chair. And now we're making use of that so we can fully inflate our lungs and fully exhale as well. So I'll have you do one more like that. And then we're going to move down to the rise and fall of our belly. Hand can be at your belly if you like that extra little bit of feedback. Breath in, belly fills up like a balloon. Breath out, muscles at your core really pull all the air out. So breath in, filling up like a balloon with air. Breath out, belly button to backbone, active squeeze of those core muscles. So we're getting a little more activation through our core muscles just to tell them it's time to work. Good, so breath in, even breath out where you're pulling belly button to backbone on that exhale. Let's do one more like that. Awesome. You're welcome to take your, or keep your eyes closed or open them now as we do some small head and neck circles, what we usually do next during our warm-up. So thinking about the crown of your head, with a pencil crayon attached where you're drawing tiny circles, and then back the other direction. Good, and then you'll go bigger circles in each direction. Let's just do 2. 2 one way, and then change that to the other way. Awesome. All right, from here, shoulders are set. Both arms are reaching forward, but our shoulders are staying in a set position. So I don't want rounded. I want set to start with. Just our arms are going to move. So right now we're kind of ignoring our shoulder blades. We're going to pay attention to them in just a moment, but let's have just the arms do a row kind of action. And we're keeping it low enough that we don't feel like our shoulders are coming up, creeping up by our ears. Last 2. And 1. And then you're going to start to add more movement. So now shoulder blades squeeze to center each time your hands come back. Maybe you're slightly forward in your chair for this if that's available to you, or staying back for full back support if that's what you need. Good, let's do last 2 and 1. We're going to take that same movement in a moment and add a little bit of a hinge, but for now, hands on your lap as we forward hinge and come up tall, or depending on what's available to you, you may be staying at your chair back, full support, and going belly button squeeze to backbone and release, a bit like our breathing exercise we were just doing. So hinging if you're able, back on your chair, belly button to backbone if that's best for you. Good, last one like that. And then let's add single arm row. We're gonna reach straight forward and then let our shoulder blade pull our arm back. So the exercise we were just doing with both arms, we're now doing that single arm, but with a hinge. Good, let's do 3, 2, and 1. And then we'll do the same on the other side, hinge and reach. Three more coming up here. 3, 2, active shoulder blade pull, and 1. Awesome. And then we're gonna side flex next. So let's do side flex with hands down. Actually, let's do one thing, change up on that. Let's do one hand holding onto the chair, either the base of your chair or the arm of your chair to side flex and come back up. So I just wanna do it single arm to start with. Always an option if you need that extra bit of support. And here we can really keep those hips nice and evenly, maybe not completely evenly weighted, but both very much still touching the chair, base of the chair. Last one here. And then the same on the other. Holding onto that chair if you need to. Good, we'll do 2 more here. And 1, and then we're gonna add another piece. Let's make it a little different than usual. We're gonna do our wide and narrow W's. So we'll stay upright and do a few of those. Where you're thinking about shoulder blades doing lots of the work here. We have some lat muscles also engaging to pull those elbows into your side. and shoulders themselves are staying low. So let's do one more here. And then you have a couple choices to make. So for our next one, we're going to side flex and do that. Maybe you like to have one hand for support and the other one to reach. If so, you might do about 3 on one side before you switch. Or if you're fine with both arms out, we're going to side flex as we go wide W, narrow W. Good. Few more. Let's do 2 more per side. And 1. Awesome. All right, bring those shoulders to a set position. Give me a bicep curl, tricep press. I'm just gonna get the blood flowing a little bit more here now. Moving just a little bit faster, prepping for our first pyramid soon. I'll intro the exercises as kind of the last part of our warm-up in a minute, and then we'll get going. All right, so give me a long arm press instead. So you're reaching back and then reaching up towards the ceiling. Doesn't need to be all the way up overhead. Good, let's do it. 3, 2, and 1. And then you'll take one arm and give me some shoulder circles to the back. And then maybe you'll add just a little bit of rotation. We can do this slow enough that we can kind of guide ourselves through just a gentle rotation. We didn't do any other rotations for warm up. So if that feels like something that just doesn't feel quite right at this point in your workout, you can keep those shoulders facing forward. 2, and 1, and then the same on the other side. Good, we'll do 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. Okay, I'm gonna grab a quick drink of water. I'm going to intro our first pyramid set of exercises. So we have 3 different exercises that we're going to do back to back. And then we're going to change how many of them we do. So moving in a pyramid 3, 6, 9, 6, 3. I'll guide you through that. The first one is meant to be kind of more cardio based, but I'll let you decide what you want to do. If you would rather just keep weights in hand the whole time, or if you have somewhere you can safely set them down and pick them back up again, and that doesn't feel like it's too time consuming, you're welcome to do that as well. If you use support for your hands to hold the weight, you'll probably want to just keep those weights on for the duration. So I'll give you a few pointers on that. So our first one is crossbody punch. If I don't have the weights in hand, I'm just going to set mine down for a minute and then I'll pick them back up. If I don't have my weights in hand, we're going to be doing these guys, right? Crossbody punch. And you can get some speed going and really, you know, bring your heart rate up a little bit as you engage lots of muscles for this. If you decide you'd like to have weights in hand for it, the movement doesn't change, the speed does, okay? So make sure if you're doing this one and you have weights in hand that you're in control of your weights the whole time. So I'll be demoing it without weights, but you're welcome to keep weights in hand if that is best for you. That's exercise 1. Exercise 2 is our weighted row, and we're going to do those with both weights in hand, but alternating sides. So we're going to go up tall to pull back in a fairly wide row. So we'll just do a few here. This will be kind of like our 3, except we're going to do 4. Last one each way. Elbow pulls back. 1 each side. Good. So that's our weighted row. You have an option of hinging, but because we're kind of switching around between weights and no weights, we don't have lap support here. So if you know that you can't support that long extended spine while you row, you'll be going to upright position for that. And then our third one is our overhead press. We're going to keep it close to our body for this one. So you'll probably need quite light hand weights for this. It's a smaller muscle group. So we want to make sure we're keeping control here. Maybe for you, either you set the weights down or it's a small move. Maybe it's just above your head that you press each side just to get that movement without creating any pain through the shoulders. All right, that's enough talking. We are going to start on our first, which is really our second piece to the pyramid. We're going to start with sixes because we already did all these exercises once. I'm going to set my weights down. I'm going to let you decide what you want to do. And here we go, crossbody punch. And I'm going to do the slow count so we don't just do 6 of these. All right, so we've got 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Finish off a couple more. There we go. All right, grab those weights if you did set them down. We're getting ready to do our weighted row. And actually, I'm going to add one more piece to this. For those of you who are away from your chair back, if you would like to add a little bit extra, you're going to sit back a little bit each time you row, or press back if you're at your chair back. That's another option. So staying upright, absolutely fine, or a little bit of a sit back. Good, let's do last 2, I believe that's 6, and 1. All right, and then you're setting your shoulders, taking the weights up to shoulder level and pressing towards the ceiling for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, so maybe you're gonna set those weights down as we go to our crossbody punches for 9s, holding them in hand with lots of control if you decide that you would rather keep them in hand. Let's do 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. Okay, so that is 9s done for our first exercise. Maybe you're forward in your chair slightly for this next one, back in your chair if that is best for you. Here goes our rows. So we got 9, 8, 7, 6. Weights can sit on your lap in between if you want, a little extra stability. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. And I should say for overhead press, for most of us, back on our chair is our best support for our low back. So do pick what's best for you there. Shoulders are set, ready to press up for 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Always glad when that one's done. All right, we're gonna set the weights down or keep them in hand if you have been for heading back down the pyramid, the other side. 6s, here we go. Crossbody punch. For 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and one. Finish off the last couple. Awesome. All right, grabbing those weights. Shoulders are set. Weights are in hand. Option of a hinge. I'm going to stay upright for this set. We're pulling back for 6, 5. Shoulder blade comes to backbone as that elbow comes back. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. I feel like we just did a set of these. Here we are again. We're going for 6s of the overhead press, core muscles helping support. Here we go, pressing up for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Okay, so all we have left is 3s. I'm actually going to keep my weights in hand for this one. We're going to do a slow motion press. You absolutely could still set down your weights if you would prefer, or if you want to do crossbody punch in slow motion, following through. Let's go slow reach for 3. Keep those shoulders low. 2, and 1. Good. And then for our row, we're going to take both arms together, also slow it down. And again, maybe we'll do a sit back here. So forward on your chair a bit if that's available to you. So nice and slow, row back, sit back, or press back and come up for 3, 2, and 1. And then for our overhead press, you have the option of putting both arms overhead at the same time, so pressing both weights overhead. If you're doing that, just make sure that your chair has no risk of tipping, so make sure wheels are locked. If you have a lower chair back, perhaps you're against a wall or something, to make sure that you will not tip as you do this. Both hands together if that feels good for you. Just 3 times, nice and slow. Maybe it's not full extension, maybe it is. For 3, 2, and 1. All right, let's set those weights down for a moment, give our hands a rest. If you are using like the active hands or something as a grip assist and you want to leave your weights attached, that's absolutely fine. So I'll intro our next pyramid set. We always do 2 pyramid sets when I do a pyramid style class. And our next one kind of has some variations to kind of jump between how many weights are in our hand, but I'll keep it as simple as I can here. We have our skier arms going for our cardio, which is our big reach with a press, right? Um, I am fine. Again, if you're using weights to do this, that's okay. Just know that we've got a lot of momentum swing even without weights in hand here. So we can really kind of get going with this. But I don't want it to swing your arms farther than they really want to go because you have weights in hand. So make sure it's with lots of control if you decide you're going to use your weights. Our wood choppers are our second exercise, and we have a couple of different options for this too. So I'm gonna demo with both weights kind of smushed together for this one. Obviously that makes it twice as heavy, so I will let you decide whether you want to set one weight down, only pick up one weight for this exercise or not. And we're gonna go 3 on one side, so you're gonna swing from your hip past your ear. So that's 3, 2, and 1. And then you're gonna switch to the other side. Shoulders set to come for 3, 2, and 1. Again, maybe you decide that this is feeling unstable or just too heavy, one weight in hand would definitely be a little better if you feel that way. And then our third one is one of my favorite exercises right now. You see it quite a bit. It's our bicep curl with extension. So we're going to do this one as alternating to start with. So halfway up, out, in, down, halfway up, out, in, down. One more each side for now. Good. All right, so a little bit more hassle with some choices about the weights, but make the choice that's best for you. I'm gonna set my weights down as I do my skier arms. Again, if you decide you're keeping weights in hand, that's totally fine. We have the option with the skier arms as well as a bit of a forward hinge to really engage through our core and work some extra muscles there. So if that is available to you, I'm just gonna keep talking and we're gonna do 3, 2, and 1. Finish off another couple here. Excellent. We're going to call that 6. Let's go to 6 of the wood choppers now. So again, your choice. 1 weight, 2 weights, or no weights. Starting at 1 hip, shoulders are set, core muscles engaged, bringing it up past your ear for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. And same thing on the other side. So this is a fairly short move. We can move a little bit fast as long as it's with control here. We got 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now, if you only have 1 weight in hand, the other thing you could do is 6 on one side of bicep curl, 6 on the other, and it will be exactly the same as what we're going to do now. So I will let you decide. Up, out, in, down. That's 1. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Finished here. Good. Again, I'm setting my weights down as we move to 9s to do my skier arms. If you decide you would like to keep weights in hand, that's fine. Here we go. Skier arms hinge with a big reach and a press, like you're planting your poles and then pushing yourself forward. All right, this is 9s. I'm gonna pick up the counting at 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Finish off the last couple for me. Awesome. And then grab 1 weight or 2 as you get ready to do 9 of our wood choppers. I'm going to start on the opposite side this time. Shoulders are set from your hip to your shoulder. Here we go for 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Let's reset, switch sides. Same thing on the second side for 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. That one is tough. Okay, and then we're going to do our curl with extension, 9 of those, both weights down at your side, half curl, out, in, down. That's one. Two. Three. Four. Five. Six. Almost there. Seven. Eight. And nine. Did I miscount that? No, I don't think so. Awesome. Take it down. All I can think about is the fact that I had an itchy nose and both my hands were busy. Okay. And so that's our nines done. That's the top of the pyramid finish. We're heading back down the other side. We're doing sixes and then we're modifying a little bit for our threes at the end. So we're almost done with these exercises. I'm setting my weights down actually to do our skier arms. So again, I'll let you decide what you do for that. And we're going to count it out for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Finish off your last couple. Awesome. Grab one weight or two. If you find that those shoulders are getting a little sore, maybe you decide it's one weight where you had been using two. I think I'm going to go to that for this set. I want to make sure that you still have really good posture and form while you do this. And as we get more tired, especially as we reach up, we tend to shrug up to try and help the move. So if you feel like you're more tired and that's happening to you, switch it down to one weight. Here we go. Same thing. For 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Same thing on the other side. Shoulders set. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. And then bicep curl. I'm going to grab that second weight again. Again, you could stay with just one weight and do 6 on one side, 6 on the other. Here we go. One side, half curl, press. That's 1. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Good. All right, all that's left is threes. I'm going to set down my weights once again as we do our skier arms. Everything kind of goes into slow motion for our last 3 of everything. So pulls are out front. Nice slow press with lots of core control here. We're still doing more than just 3 of this. We're doing a slow count of 3. So let's do a slow count from 2 now. And then a slow count of 1. Give me about 3 more of these in total. 3, 2, and 1. For our wood choppers, you only need 1 weight for this next one. So we'll do actually each side separately. We have 2 choices to make for this. So only 1 weight is in hand. If you are more comfortable with what we were doing for the duration of the wood chopper, so both hands on the weight, up and down, absolutely stay there. If the weight is of a manageable weight for you, where you can come cross-body to start, and then use your shoulders, set it in place, keep your core strong, and use just one arm to lift here, not really a wood chopper anymore, but a nice strong move, and back down. You'll do 3 like that. So pick which is best for your shoulders. 3, 2, and 1. And then go to the other side and do the same. So again, both hands on the weight as we were doing before, or shoulder set, single arm, cross body. 3, 2, and 1. Good. And then hopefully this is the last time we have the hassle of back and forth with the weights. We're going to grab our second weight again, please, if you can. And we're going to finish off our bicep curls with extension with both at the same time. And we're going to make it slow, and we're going to challenge ourselves. It's going to be different for everyone. So listen to your body. If you need to be back on your chair, there's probably a point forward where you can't really go any farther before you feel very unstable through your core. So I don't want you to go to the point where you feel very unstable, just challenge. So set your shoulders, half bicep curl, both arms reach, nice and slow. Maybe you pause at that full extension, like you're handing somebody something heavy. Good, let's just do one more. Awesome. Okay, we are going to use one weight only for the next couple of things, but if your hands are a bit tired and you want to set both weights down and grab a drink, you're welcome to do that. Our pyramid session is done. As usual, time's going by fast. I have a couple more exercises that I would like us to get to, and I'm trying to debate here whether we use that pillow or not. Okay, let me sneak the pillow in for those of you who did grab something that was pillow-like. So that can be a cushion, a rolled up jacket, a rolled up towel, whatever. We're gonna put it at our knees. I'm gonna kind of smush mine in half so it gives me a little bit more resistance. And this is whatever works for you as far as this goes. So the pillow or pillow-like object is between my two knees right now. And if you're just holding it there and that is enough for you, stay there. If you would like to do a squeeze and a release, and that feels good, inner thighs working right, go ahead and do that. If neither of those two things work, you either don't have the pillow, it's not staying there, and you don't feel it's useful, you're going to do butt squeeze instead. Squeeze and release. So lots of different options for you here. We're going to leave it here as an option while we do our rotator cuff work, actually. So give me just one more squeeze and release for now. And then take the weight in one hand, doesn't matter which one. Elbow is glued to your side. We're doing our rotator cuff rotation, so rotation from the shoulder joint to challenge our rotator cuff. And if you feel like a multitask and either the butt squeezes or the inner thigh squeeze was working, you might add that. So you might go squeeze as the weight comes away, release as the weight comes back in. Squeeze, release. We're going to do 4 more. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Okay, we're going to switch to the other side with the weight in hand. Palm is facing up, shoulder is set. Give me a few where we're not doing any lower body exercise at all, just focused on the rotator cuff. And of course, you're welcome to stay here, or if you would like to add the inner thigh work, squeeze, release. Go ahead and add that now, or butt squeeze instead. Good, let's do 3 more. 3, 2, and 1. Okay, I have one more exercise for you. It's our side flex. Weight is always optional for that. My pillow, I'm losing it here. I'm gonna leave the pillow here. I'm going to use the pillow as a bit of a stabilizer for my hips and upper legs as I side flex. So a tiny bit of a squeeze into the pillow might work for you here. Again, if this pillow is just not doing it for you, take it away. Don't use it. That is just fine. Hand is also available to hold on to the chair for a little extra stability if you need. We're side flexing towards our weighted side and then pulling back up tall. Good. And then for the last 4, maybe you add that extended arm where you're imagining that somebody's pulling you up by the fingertips. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. We'll switch that weight to the other hand last time. Hips are even on the chair. Again, that pillow is maybe there just for that little squeeze, so not a 100% squeeze, just a small set as we side flex, come back up tall. And then last 4, maybe you're adding that extended arm. So you're thinking about on the way up, somebody pulling you by your fingertips. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. We are done with the weight. We're actually going to maybe use the pillow again. So it's not necessary for you to go get it if you don't already have it with you, but leave it on your lap if it's not going to roll away on you. And we'll use it there in just a moment. In the meantime, shoulders are set, hands are out front. Give me a big breath in as you reach wide and a breath out as your hands come back to meet. Good, do it again. 2 more like that. And 1. And then starting at the same place, give me that diagonal low, coming to center. And then 2 times where your thumbs are going to turn in as you start to press. A little bit longer reach. Maybe you pause at the back end just for a moment before you come forward and do it again. Thumbs roll in towards each other and return. Good. Set those shoulders. Let's use the pillow as an option now. So I would like it just to be a way that we can relax into a hinge a little bit more. So if hinging is not an option for you and you are at your chair back, you're going to be relaxed at your chair back, breath in to come tall and breath out to release. If you have the pillow at your lap, see if that is a helpful tool for you as you hinge down to a spot where maybe you're comfortable just hanging out for a moment, where you feel like you can take some nice long breaths in and out and keep your spine fully extended. So we're still in a long spinal position here. We're not curled forward. Come back up nice and slow. Try that again. Make some adjustments if you need to. Pillow, no pillow, maybe hands on your lap, hands on the chair for support as you hinge down or as you stay upright and extend head to the ceiling. Come on, back up nice and slow. We're done with the pillow. If you want to set it away, if it's feeling like it's in your way or it's going to roll off, we can get rid of that now. We're going to take our chest stretch that we've been doing quite a bit, but I have 2 choices for you today. So I like the one where hand is in back pocket, elbow reaches back, but we also have the one where hand is on your head and elbow reaches back. So I will let you decide which of those 2 you like better. Maybe you'll try one the first time, and maybe you're looking away from this stretch too. So if your hand is on your head, it's very gently on your head. You're not putting pressure on head and neck. Good. You can bring that arm down, whichever way you had it. Maybe you'll change it the other way. So I'm going to go hand in my back pocket, elbow back this time, also looking away from the stretch. And then you can unwind from that and try the same two on the other side. Or if you already know which one is your favorite, go ahead and pick that one and do it twice instead. So gentle hand on your head as you look the opposite way. Good. Come on back through center, reset, decide if you want to try the other version of this stretch. So I'm going to do hand at my hip. Again, looking away from the stretch for a little extra. Good. Ease your way out of that. One, take both of the base of your hands and reach them as if you could reach all the way down to the floor. And then let's drop our head to one side. And come back through center, drop your head ear towards the other shoulder. And come on back through center. You can take your hands and give me some wrist circles here, probably to the back. And then some elbow circles. And then some shoulder circles. It can be one at a time or both together, whichever you prefer. Let's do two more. And one. Awesome. And then back on your chair for back support. We're going to do one last neck stretch and then we'll do a breathing exercise to finish things off. So just give me some nice slow head and neck circles again. Nice big circle all the way around. We're going to do 3 in one direction. And then 3 in the other. Take some time if you find a spot that needs a little extra attention. Stay there a bit longer. Good, and then when you've done those 3, coming into a nice seated position. Eyes can be closed for this. We're going to finish things off in reverse of how we started. So we're going to start at our belly for some belly breathing, where a breath in fills up like a balloon and a breath out draws your belly button really actively towards your backbone. So a hand can be on your belly or not, whatever you prefer. So we'll do one more like that, and then you'll move your attention to the rise and fall of your chest, expanding through your rib cage with the breath in, and then making sure full exhale. Good breath in, and a nice even breath out. We'll do 2 more there. And then we're finishing off with that extension through our spine, which you were likely doing anyways. So big breath in, taking the crown of your head closer to the ceiling, and an even breath out, maintaining most of that length. Let's just do 2 more like that. Awesome. All right, you can take your eyes to open and we are finished for today. So let's finish with those 3 big breaths in as usual. Starting down low, reaching for the ceiling for 3, 2, and 1. Thanks for joining me today. If you have any questions or just want to chat, you can pop on now. Thanks, Gordon. I see your message. Thanks for coming.
Thanks, Julie.
Thanks, Ken. Nice to see
Yeah,
you.
yeah, nice to be back again. I'm going into the city for a few days, but I should be back for next week.
All right, sounds good. Have fun in the big city.
Yeah, it's a conference. Bye for now.
Okay, bye.
Okay, thanks for everybody for coming.